all of these people are insanely rich YouTubers and minor celebrities. So there was backlash immediately because people were like, why are you giving 100K to super rich people? Why not give it to someone who actually needs it? And of course, Orson came out and said, you don't know anyone's circumstance, which, sure, nobody knows any of their circumstances, but if they need 100K, guess what? They have a plethora of jewelry, watches, cars, houses. They could get 100K by selling like one of their pieces of jewelry or a car. Normal people can't do that because normal people don't have 100K and don't have 100K to blow on jewelry or cars or memorabilia or whatever it is. So they ended up doing the contest, and basically the contestant had to shoot 10 3-pointers and get them all in a row.
Wow.
Nobody managed to do it, so Austin randomly picked someone from the crowd, and lo and behold, it's not only one of his friends of many years, but it's also someone who played Division 1 college basketball. So of course they won. And we don't even know if they really got the money, what happened to it. Austin acted as though, you know, he'd lifted all these people out of poverty from this. But I just don't understand how someone can be so ignorant to how these things look. Like, not giving a charity the money that you pledge to give them while you're profiting off the same event yourself, and then you do a giveaway that so few people could actually win, but you don't even let anyone actually enter who would mean anything to win because you only let other rich people enter, and then you end up giving it to your friend, or allegedly giving it to your friend. We don't really know, because he's one of those few people who could actually make the shots. So who's to say he didn't orchestrate this whole thing for publicity, because he knew even if he had fans entering, most of them most likely, especially people who are watching the Ace family, like kids aren't going to be able to make 10 3-pointers in a row. So he may have known that nobody would win, and then he could have said to his friend, hey, I'm gonna pick you, and then, you know, I'll give you 10K if you pretend I ended up giving you this money. Obviously that's all speculation, like off the cuff, but anything could be true with these people. So the latest event that they did was last summer, and that was Ace Fest. This was described as Disneyland meets Coachella, and it was very far from that. A lot of YouTubers went to this event, so there's a ton of videos showing it online. Actually, even Deaf Noodles went to the event and got kicked out, and I really think this was the beginning of the Deaf Noodles downfall, because once he got kicked out of that event, things really started going south on Deaf Noodles.
How you doing? I'm a big fan. Huge fan. Oh yeah, I love it. So I want to ask for some life advice. Yeah. How do I learn to scam as good as you?
Scam?
He didn't come to be, can't be funny.
No, I'm for real. I'm a fan. Wait, no, for real. What's the?
Good, bro. Good.
I just want to be like you. I want to be a scammer. I'm for real. Can I be a scammer like you? I got kicked out.
As one of the biggest Ace family fans, I really wish Austin had given me another chance. I really wanted to get the scamming tips from the master.
The Ace family had this event, and for weeks they were saying, oh, you get, you know, all of these things. It was like live performances and a petting zoo and games and prizes, and every couple of weeks they kept knocking down what was happening. So they would take away the petting zoo, they would take away the performances, and it ended up being this shared event with another event that was going on, and they had just a bunch of like old carnival rides, and I'm sure some people enjoyed it, but the majority of people that all of these YouTubers like went up and interviewed a lot of people, and obviously most of the people there were Ace family fans, and all of these people were really disappointed by what it was because they hyped it up to be this huge thing.
Excuse me, can I interview you real quick? Sure. What are your thoughts on the event so far?
Carnival, I guess. It's a normal carnival.
Do you feel like you got your money's worth? Aw. Have a wonderful day. What's your thoughts on the festival so far?
It's pretty, I don't know, not as busy as I thought it would be.
Do you feel like you got your money's worth for the event?
No.
Aw, I'm sorry about that. What are your thoughts on the event so far?
I was expecting more.
You were?
Yeah.
Aw.
But I like it. I approve.
Do you feel like it was worth your money?
No.
Aw, I'm sorry. Have a nice day.
But that isn't the worst of all of the other events. I think the basketball ones were worse. And then there's also the boxing events, which are just a thing of their own. So we'll discuss those in a minute. I just want to touch on their house foreclosure and their house issues, because this was one of the most talked about things when it came to the Ace family. So back
House
in their
foreclosure.
heyday, when they were making, the majority of their money and getting all the views and subscribers, they were living in a mansion that they claimed was their own house, and they really acted as though they bought this house, but it ended up being revealed that they were renting it. So then they decided to move to their next house, and they already lived in one big massive gorgeous mansion. So what's an upgrade? What's better than one mansion? Two mansions, right? Austin was filming a video with one of the FaZe clan, and they happened across this hill that had two brand new, almost completed mansions on top of it. The surrounding area all had homes for around 1 million, 1.5 million, and there were a few that were 2 million, but that was the absolute max in this area. Austin basically decided to purchase these two mansions atop the hill and combine them to make one gigantic super mega mansion. The problem was these houses were almost finished as individual houses, so they had to be completely gutted and redone to be presented as one house. The Ace family then took out two hard money loans totaling $10 million for this house. When it came to this house, the Ace family had never ending content. Constantly videos were posted about the latest issue with the house, the latest this, the latest that, and all the videos were full of constant complaints.
This is the Ace family. They didn't really get on my radar until like a couple months ago when I saw this video on trending. You won't believe what's happening with the new Ace family house. What bothers me with them is watching some of their videos about their house is how many things they complain about, how many problems that they project onto the world that people would kill to have.
Catherine and I are in discussion of do we want to move in any day now, or do we want to wait until the landscape is complete? So it's either we move in within the next few days with the landscape not being done, or we wait until everything is complete.
He sounds like my mother.
Big part of the house is what make the house look complete. So.
Look at their house. Look how
Rich people
disgusting
always
this
sound
house
like
is.
this.
Do you want to live there? No.
They've got
Especially
real
if
problems.
it's grass outside yet for a
It's
temporary
disgusting.
amount of time.
It's just like a fitness appointment right now.
Guys, this goes on for like 4 minutes. I'm not exaggerating.
We don't know how long it's going to take.
I thought their house fucking burned down or
When the house was almost complete and the Ace family were still posting their plethora of videos, Drew Gooden posted a video going over their latest problem at the Mega Mansion, and his full video is linked below, but the video was called Losing Your Relatability.
they're always number 2 on trending. Like they're just shoved down your throats if you go on YouTube. And I don't see anything relatable about these people. I don't see anything human about them. Like I'm not so sure they've ever even watched a YouTube video, because Austin doesn't even seem to know where the subscribe button is.
If you are new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join the family. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and join the family. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and join the family.
What is he pointing to? When has the subscribe button ever been above the video?
I mean, isn't that just so relatable to you, an everyday person? I know it's very relatable to me. Austin also caused huge problems for his neighbors by idiotically riding his jet ski in his pool, which caused the water to spill over the pool sides and pour down the hill the house was on, flooding his neighbor's property and yard below. The Ace
Oh
family
my
did not live in
God.
this house very long when rumors of foreclosure started to be reported on social media. Dozens and dozens of videos were put out on social media covering the looming foreclosure of the Ace family's mega mansion. And when the paparazzi confronted Austin and Catherine about this in public, they constantly denied that their home was in foreclosure. They stated that these were nothing more than lies made up by their haters. Shortly after Catherine and Austin denied that their house was being foreclosed on, black and white proof was produced on social media and the house was foreclosed.
I know the guy who bought it. Yeah, it was just weird coincidence. I was with him last night and he was like, hey, you said you bought a problematic house. And I was like, what house? He's like, I don't know, some YouTuber, he did some boxing thing. And I was like, Austin McBroom. And he's like, yeah, crazy. They got taken for a ride when they built it, spent way too much money on it. And now it's in this area that the next most expensive house is $2.5 million. So no one wants to buy this $10 million house. Right. So it's not worth anything close to that. So they picked it up like for cheap from the loan company, and I guess they're gonna try.
Some of the most talked about controversies of Austin McBroom are the two Social Gloves boxing events. The first Social Gloves event was dubbed the Battle of the Platforms, and the premise was YouTubers versus TikTokers. It was quickly revealed that Social Gloves was actually a company owned by Ace Hat Collections, and I'll give you one guess as to who owned that company. Austin, of course, was hyping up the event to ridiculous heights and was paying each fighter a stupid amount of money. Bryce Hall alone was said to be earning $5 million, and Austin and Bryce also made a bet that whomever won would pay the other one $1 million of their own money. With all the lawsuits we've discussed in this video, the house foreclosure, their dwindling views, bleeding subscribers, and the Ace family all around behaving as though they are desperate for cash, there was a lot of pressure on this event. And unsurprisingly, it didn't go as planned. With most people agreeing the worst decision, generally, it didn't go as planned. With most people agreeing the worst.
Wow, I want to see that. Oh no.
Do you think this is going to be an easier or harder fight than Nick Austin? A little more difficult. Rylan does have reach. He has height on me. A little bit of weight. He's coming down. I'm coming up.
Rylan, do you feel like you have an advantage because he's like the smallest guy on the card?
Obviously, that's an advantage, but we'll see what happens.
I'm not about that fake beef. I don't want to do that. You know, I'm actually training for this fight. This is something I want to do. So. But Michael, I got a question, man. How do you feel about reaching out to Jarvis and asking him to?
Yeah, first round, for sure.
I can't wait to fucking slap the shit out of
Slap. He said slap. Why slap? Why not fight?
Right now, I got a question. Fuck out of you.
No, you ain't.
Slap him. You wanted this fight. I don't need this fight.
You were last on my list. It was Jake, and it was Logan. Me and Logan had the conversation, and then he was last on the list.
Fair. Have you ever been in a fight?
What kind of question is that? Of course, you fucking fight.
No, but have you ever been in like an actual fight?
What do you consider a fight?
If you step,
What do you consider a fight?
Go to fucking sleep in those pajamas, you stupid bitch.
Damn, you go right for his dick, too. You went right to punch him in the nuts, too. Watch. Watch, he went straight for the belt like a fucking pussy. He cold cocked him and then went straight to punch him in the nuts, too. Watch. See, it went straight for his crotch. The bad fighter. Yeah, that's not a real fight. That's... It's a bunch of men acting like children. They should kiss. They should all kiss and just start banging. I just saved that girl, bro.
I can't wait to save that girl, bro. That was fucked, dude. That was fucked. I had to save that woman. Did you get that?
I just saved that woman.
Oh my god. 10. Who's winning? Bryce or Austin?
Bryce motherfucking Hall, baby! I got money on Bryce Hall and Taylor Holder, bitch!
Holy fuck, dude. That was lit, though. think, Doug?
I think that was awesome. I'm glad they went at it.
Loki saved that lady.
I was like, she's gonna die.
I just dived straight in. I was like, where the fuck's Bradley going?
Alright, who's fucking winning?
I'll do me. Easily me. That was hilarious.
You shut the fuck out of me.
I'm glad he did it. But bro, we can't crush women, you know? Unless it's in the bed.
I got tackled by like 4 people, so it made me fall down. Dude, it was getting so boring.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad he pushed the road. Getting bored as fuck.
I was sitting there, and you'll see my like thing. I was like, ugh, this is so fucking lame.
As we get
Yeah.
Decision was when Orson McBroom decided not to put the event on pay-per-view.
Austin was so arrogant, right, and so egotistical about this that he refused to put it on cable and satellite. Right now, this is the ultimate, stupid pill in life, which is 98% of every ticket in pay-per-view in the history of pay-per-view, right, that has been sold. Was sold over cable and satellite.
The only way to watch was through FFXI Live, but there was a lot of commentary channels at the fight, so the vast majority of people just waited for the reports from YouTubers and or clips to come out to see the one thing that they wanted to see, which was Austin decking Bryce Hall, which of course was going to happen given that McBroom was a collegiate athlete and Bryce Hall did this. The event only sold 135,000 tickets and was a commercial, critical, social, and all-around failure. The first Social Gloves event cost over $20 million to produce and only generated 6.5 to 7.5 million in revenue. There was a lot of controversy leading up to the event. They even received a cease and desist from TikTok over Social Gloves' use of TikTok's logo and brand, but the vast majority of controversy came after the fight, with fighters speaking out about not being paid, and eventually, of course, Social Gloves became another lawsuit in the pile of lawsuits the Ace family was embroiled in.
Nobody's been paid. Nobody knows what's going on. Apparently they were planning on selling 500,000 subscriptions. They only sold 100,000.
Despite Social Gloves 1 being a total disaster and losing millions of dollars, Orson McBroom decided to put on Social Gloves 2, and this event was held on the 10th of September 2022 and was held in LA. This event was basically the 2 winners of the last co-main event, so it was Orson McBroom versus Anisan Gibb. This event performed even worse than Social Gloves 1, with there being next to no attendees at the event. There even was a little bit of attendance at Social Gloves 1, but there was hardly anyone at Social Gloves 2.
However, I have never seen this before, where the stadium actually got more empty the closer it got to the headline fight. Because on Twitter, people were like, you didn't see the last fight, got more packed by the time the main event happened. I was at the Battle of the Platform. That venue was packed the entire goddamn time, because there were people that people actually knew who were fighting. I did not know more than 3 people on this fight card. That is all. It is my job to be online, and I recognize 3 people. And that wouldn't matter if you advertised the fucking fight, but you didn't do that.
And just like Social Gloves 1, the only good thing that came out of Social Gloves 2 was a nice little clip of someone being humbled.
What's crazy is that the ref was kind of insane. He kept it going. He got knocked down like 5 times. Look at that, dude. That was a kill shot right there, man.
That was brutal.
So dude got knocked down once, twice,
Blood boiling.
3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Yeah, dude, it was a massacre. It really was. I think that's the biggest beating I've seen since Fousey 2.
With Anisan Gibb ending up winning the main event without too much difficulty.
I don't know what the deal was with Catherine not going to the ring with him. However, if it is the money thing, then it's possible that someone on Austin's team told Catherine, you need to get off the venue now, because if he's out of it, they're going to come to you for the money. And so it wouldn't surprise me if they told Catherine, like, hey, you got to go. Like, you may want to leave now while you can. If I was Austin, if I got hit, and I knew that there was someone waiting for me to pay afterwards, I know that the way to get me out of there is to get to the hospital. Hypothetically, allegedly. I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm just saying that if I owed someone money and I needed to get out of the venue, a head injury faking would be a way to go.
A few months after Social Gloves 2, McBroom spoke out and tried to give some excuses as to why he lost the event, but a lot of people were not buying it. There are so many other things I could have included in this video. They've had incidents with Disney cast members, the whole thing with Catherine's younger sister with the lollipop, and there's also things like they've disregarded the safety of their young fans by causing a ruckus in LA, and they've also notoriously not disclosed their sponsorships.
I reached out to them 2 years ago and I got you guys a discount code, and I told you guys on my Snapchat recently that I was wanting to get you guys a discount code again. So I did. So it's Catherine25. Click the link in the description. You got all these great products.
So yeah, the Ace family did end up adding a link in the description for that brand, and there was a code. And it's very interesting, especially when you consider what happened at the end of the video as well.
This is an amazing way to scare people off. All right, so it's called the Birdie. I got it as a gift from my mom. And sorry, we don't have a discount code. I'm gonna try to reach out to the company. Maybe they'll do something for you guys. Genuinely, I want everyone to have one of these.
Wait a minute, so you're talking about brands at the beginning and the end of the video and discount codes and all this stuff? What does this all mean?
The moment Catherine says I reached out to them, I'm like, girl, bye. She always says this when it's a literal brand deal. Like, who cares? Just be transparent.
Yes, folks. Some people have been noticing that the Ace family appear to be doing affiliate brand deals on their channel, which means that they get a cut out of the sales of the product rather than money up front. And what's curious about this is that they haven't really been indicating in their videos that this is a brand deal, and one usually does that. Oh, what's transparency lately? Just not happening.
Obviously, as adults, we realize those are ads. We know they're being paid to promote those products, but their young fans, who are the people watching them, do not. There is so much to say about the Ace family, and the core issue with them kind of bleeds in from the undisclosure of sponsorship and everything else mentioned in this video, because the core issue is they are just dishonest people. If you look at what they've done on YouTube, I mean, they sold out the Staples Center. That's fucking impressive. They had nearly 20 million subscribers and they have billions of views. But all of that and all the money that came with it wasn't enough for them. I just cannot understand the mentality behind them, because they literally had everything. They couldn't want for nothing, and they've just decided to cash in their reputations for a little bit more cash and clout. And that's why it's important to talk about these things, to call this out, because Catherine and Austin McBroom should not be the people we're making famous. And quite honestly, I wish that no family channels were famous, so that those kids could grow up in privacy and enjoying their own childhood without having cameras shoved in their face 24/7.
Yeah, it's unfortunate too, because like they didn't feel that way 10 years ago. They didn't feel that way. They were like, oh, look at their family, they're so cute, we love these people. And then they decide that they don't want to be like that anymore, and the people that they made famous and rich are just dropped and left to die, essentially. Not left to die, but you know, like their careers are left to die, because you know they can't maintain it forever.
If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. If I haven't...
Fraud, scams, cults, and commentaries. Oh, yeah, alright. Well, since we were talking about Shane Dawson earlier, let's do that one. Racism, sexism, bestiality, blackface, anime,
Shane
blah,
Dawson
blah, blah.
has spent the last 15 years crafting the perfect character and mask to convince his YouTube audience that he's just a kind-hearted, empathetic figure out in the world helping people. In reality, Dawson cares only about himself, money, and attention.
You know who Shane Dawson is like? Jerry Seinfeld. And I don't know him, but I mean, I've seen enough of Shane Dawson to understand that personality. It's laziness and comedy and chic city living with your metro friends. Shane was gay, which is fine. Or bi, I guess. Bi. Which is fine. Just, you know, a little bit. So the only reason I pointed out is Jerry Seinfeld. I'm not so sure it was gay. I don't think Jerry Seinfeld was gay. I don't believe. But yeah. So that was like the primary difference. And Jerry Seinfeld was rich and successful and had many television shows, but frankly, I think in terms of how threatening Shane Dawson is, I think of him as like a Jerry Seinfeld. Isn't that weird? And this is a man who supposedly, I mean, not supposedly, but he definitely did like blackface and a bunch of racism, and he's fucked up. But, and he definitely, supposedly, at least he said he came on a cat.
In fact,
but I still think of him as like this, like, like Jerry Seinfeld type. I don't think of him as a bad person. I don't.
Shane Dawson cares so little.
And I've heard so many nasty, nasty things of him, and I think, yeah, nothing they would even put you in jail for, though. I'm a nastier person than Shane Dawson, and not because of weird sex things or any of that, just because of all the jail stuff, you know? But honestly, I don't think he's ever done anything they'd ever even put him in jail for. Not really. Married with Children was far, far, far more risque than Shane Dawson. They used to literally call Christine Applegate a whore, pretty much. Your daughter's a whore, or whatever, right? Right on Fox Television. Shit like that. And, you know, I mean, they didn't say that, but they were hinting it all the time. And, like, you know, and it was just stupid. Like, you know, it's just...
about others, that he is now platforming an alleged predator and groomer. While
Nope, I know many people like this dude. He's dumb. He's not dumb, he's just silly. He's a silly dude. I've known many silly dudes like Shane Dawson that are they're just like chuckleheads. That's who they are. They're harmless like Jerry Seinfeld. It's like, I don't know. I mean, maybe he's not harmless. Let's hear about him. Maybe he's really an asshole. I don't know.
Dawson has been on YouTube. He's used his perfectly curated character and mask, but his mask has slipped plenty of times over the last decade and a half. And that's what we're going to be looking at today, along with when he went full mask off in June 2020.
As a victim of abuse myself. Oh my god.
We are also going to be exploring Dawson's return to YouTube and how, just like his other scores of controversies...
No, he was extremely angry that day. Because it was like an attack. See, I want to defend him. It's weird because I don't see a bad person there. It's weird. I trust my instincts completely. It's very weird.
That it's clear that
but maybe I'll be surprised. Let's see.
Anything at all. Shane Dawson was born in Long Beach, California as Shane Yaw and grew up with his two older brothers. The majority of the time, Shane's mom was a single parent, and Shane had a rough childhood where he suffered abuse. Shane has also spoken out about his own abusive behavior towards other children when he himself was a child.
I would molest kids on my street. And that's another thing that they say that kids who are sexually abused do. Like, I would, like, make kids on my street, like, take their pants off and I'd spank them or, like, do weird shit to them.
While Shane was growing up, his family was low income, and Shane also was very overweight. In 2008, Shane was working at Jenny Craig with his mom.
Why would
and
he
brother.
say that
He
stuff?
began posting to his new YouTube channel in March of 2008. One of his very early videos was himself and several other employees in their workplace dancing on a pole. And this video actually ended up causing Shane to be fired along with his mom, brother, and 6 other employees at Jenny Craig.
I can't really say the company I work for because they'll sue me. I mean, they're already trying to sue me, but they'll probably end up suing me again for it. But the company rhymes with Shmenny Schmreg, and it's a weight loss company.
After being fired, he began posting more videos, and he eventually created his third and most popular channel, Shane. So this first phase is roughly 2008 to 2010, and during that period he posted skits of himself playing many characters, including one infamous character, Shanae. Shanae was a crude stereotype of a black woman. Over time, his videos gained more and more views, and many of these videos were filled with racism, sexism, bestiality, pedophilia, blackface. And I don't mean that Dawson did this once or twice or even 3 times, or it was once at the very beginning of his channel. This was consistent racism and blackface, and a lot of people like to say, oh, but it was a different time. And to that I would just say it was the late noughties and early 2010s. It wasn't actually the 1700s, and I can tell you firsthand that this was not okay or normal back then at all. Another really important factor to talk about when it comes to this disgusting content from Dawson is the fact that, you know, even if people say, oh, it was 10, it was 11 years ago, he's changed, he's given some blanket standard apology for everything, so just get over it. But Shane Dawson was actually profiting from these videos until his cancellation in 2020.
Yeah, he's
he
a
had these videos
content creator
live on his channel, and he was not only profiting from the videos, but he had even doubled down and had merch that was on the channel for the character Shanae until his cancellation in 2020. I want you to keep that in mind as we go through all of these periods, because Shane is constantly called out, and still, despite being called out multiple times over all these years, he still kept those videos up and still kept profiting from them. And yes, he absolutely did still know they were up. As a YouTuber, whether you're big, small, whatever, you are aware as a creator what you've put out, whether you have 10,000 videos or 10. And he even is more aware because people have constantly brought it up. He has a team of people working for him also. I know he likes to be, oh, poor me, I'm just, you know, some little guy with this tiny little channel that just got lucky, but he's a businessman and he has a huge platform with tons of people working for him, and it's not just him sitting there privating his own videos. The real Shane Dawson that's under this character cares about exactly 3 things: money, power, and fame. And that's why he kept those videos up. He made that decision every single day to leave those videos up and to profit from them. So another really important factor to discuss when talking about Shane Dawson's beginning was the fact that YouTube was in its early days, and it was kind of the Wild West. There was no filtration system, kids could watch whatever they wanted, and many of them found Shane Dawson. Shane had this loyal audience of very young girls, young teens and tweens.
Fucking
and he was
annoying.
interacting with them a lot behind the scenes, and a
It
lot
better
of
not
that
kill
is
me.
disturbing as hell.
Fucking annoying.
You've been examined.
Damn. Oh, if Justine wasn't watching, I would rip all of you. Oh, yeah. I want all those shirts on my bedroom floor instead of on your underage bodies. Oh.
Shane also started doing meet and greets and did extremely problematic things at these meet and greets, like kissing a 12-year-old girl. Shane was also going on Tiny Chat and Omegle, not live streams, but small chats where you can see who you're talking to. And he was being incredibly inappropriate, asking children to do inappropriate things.
I love you too. Can you twerk for us? Give it. Okay. Twerk for us. Here we go. Just go in front of
I don't know, in public doesn't matter.
Shane's videos were filled, and I mean filled, with Shane being inappropriate to kids, and he did this for years and years. The fact he did all this is disgusting in itself. But the even crazier thing is that he's never apologized, never taken any accountability, or try and fix or right any of these terrible things.
Well, I'm glad I'm not
just
known
tries
for
to
this.
throw one blanket apology over everything. But
I'm known for my anger and my raging, but I'm not known for this, at least.
he hasn't actually apologized for anything or done anything to make amends. And not
I think, man, I don't know if I'm that bad. I yell sometimes. I don't know if I'm that bad. I don't harm anybody, and I don't know. I'm not weird. Did you drop? I can't remember. Yes, you did.
Warp drive active. Only was this happening with children, it was also happening with animals.
My peanut butter.
Gross.
And like the inappropriate behavior with children, there is just so much of this. Just countless videos and clips of him harassing animals. Shane likes to talk about all of these things as if they were done by a different person, and he's never done any sort of apology, amends, or reparations, but he just kind of uses this blanket, absolutely generic apology that's, yeah, okay, stop bothering me, get over it, it was years ago. And we'll talk much more about that later on in the video. So Dawson was interacting with all these teens and tweens through all the tiny chat and weird meet and greets, all going throughout 2011 to 2013. This is our next time period, and this is when you started to see people like Drew Monson and other people join the channel. One thing to mention here is Shane would generally have a group of people appear in his videos. There's been Shayna Malcolm, Drew Monson, Desiree Smith. We'll talk more about...
I love the name Munson. It reminds me of this movie Kingpin, where they use this guy's name to describe being stranded out in the middle of nowhere. They're like, he got Munsoned. What does that mean? Oh, it means getting stranded out in the middle of nowhere. And they make him, this guy, like he's such a jackass that they literally name getting stranded out of the middle of nowhere after him. I thought that was so funny. It was Bill Murray. It was Munson. Or no, I'm sorry. It was Woody Harrelson.
Smith later, Garrett Watts, Andrew Sawicki, Trisha Paytas, and more. The majority of these people seem like nice, genuine people. And
Ryland.
Interestingly, out of all these people, none
I like Ryland.
except one
I think
seems
Ryland's
to
a good
be
person.
associated with Dawson anymore, and that would be
I wonder, that's a
Desiree
shame.
Smith, and we'll talk again more about him later. Everyone else seems to have had big fallouts with Dawson, and
Oh,
if you
damn
go
it.
back
I
and
forgot
watch
to get the
videos of them
Signet.
interacting, there are a lot of points where you can see the real Shane seems to be coming through. He's very rude to them.
I'm going to talk about Garrett, Gabby Hanna, his ex-producer Lauren, Shana, Jake Paul, and even...
Shane is an entertainer worth millions and millions and millions and millions, and they're all like this. They're idiosyncratic nightmares. They're all like this. They're all divas. They're all annoying. They all have standards. Trust me.
Jeffree Star, believe it or not. Everyone that I've just mentioned, Shane has either tried to manipulate them, outright insulted them, or just generally be a bad friend to them. Some of the things that Shane has done to them have just been in little microwaves that kind of build up and wear on a person over time. And some of the things are in such overt ways that really make me wish that Shane had been cancelled a long time ago.
We never see any childhood friends, no pre-YouTube friends, and he has even spoken about the fact that he doesn't have a lot of friends because he used to use different personalities with people. The video of Dawson actually saying that has been deleted though now, but it was a video from 2015. Dawson just seems to use people, and when he isn't able to use them anymore, or he finds someone else he can use more effectively,
I don't have different personalities with people. I'm the druggie. Everybody knows. I'm the bad guy. I'm the druggie. Stay away from him. He's the Kurt Cobain kid. Stay away from him. I'll say it right to their face. Yep. Stay away. Stay away. I'm really more of a before rehab friend. These people seem to have like real nice lives compared to me, I think.
Practically, he dumps them.
But I started getting voice memos from people over the years of Shane shit talking me, like his actual audio. I didn't put it out there because I thought it was kind of weird. But
Okay, like if you've been skycatted, it means I stole drugs from you. All my best friends, they love me. Trust me, they love me to death. But trust me, like if you know you've been skycatted when I've stolen drugs from you. I've been consistent. I don't think most people would accuse me of having. Well, I mean, I guess you would say I have a split personality in the respect that I have an online life and an offline life. One's a druggie. one's like a cat girl. And you could say I have a split personality. You could say I'm schizophrenic, but I'm not. I'm not, diagnosed that or whatever. You could say it, though, because I do have two personalities. And I've had two personalities for like 18 years. And one's my online MMO personality. It's Sunshine Cookies and Happy Cat Girls with twitchy tails, called Skycat. Or Blonde Rogues or Worgen Hunters or Night Elf Priests, all female, right? Kind of ditzy, happy. I'll give you all kinds of money. I'll run your clan or your guild for you. I'll teach you how to be good or whatever. I'll teach you how to be good at the game or whatever, right? And that's one side of my personality. Then there's the other side of my personality, which is consistent. Nobody would ever. I don't think anybody would accuse me of being two-faced. I don't think that's something they would ever. I've never been accused of that by anybody. They know who I am. I'm the druggie. I'm looking to party. I'll do whatever as long as it's partying, and I'm not like that anymore. So now I've got to figure out who I am now. Because I'm not like that anymore. But I mean, that's who I was till I was 38 years old. Everybody knew, even at the age of 13. I'd just straight drink from the bottle. I didn't care. I'd straight be like, okay, I didn't even know what Chaser was when I was 13 years old. I didn't know what Chaser was. So we would just drink the fucking bottle of Skull straight. And when, and I'm such a party, happy comedian person, kind of like Shane, you know what I'm saying? That night when we drank the Skull bottle straight, I puked all over the fucking floor, and my best friend, who was so terrified of getting busted by the parents, was like willing to do debasing things like clean up my vomit, right? Because he just didn't want the trouble from the parents, and I don't blame him. So while he was down there cleaning up my vomit, I told him, I love you, dude, and thank you for doing this, but I'm sorry, I've got to, and I kicked him in his ass. While he was down there, I was like 13 years old, and I convinced him to drink the bottle of Skull vodka straight. And then, so while he was down there cleaning up my projectile vomited all over my fucking basement, all the way to the fucking sink. And, like, I lived in the basement because it was high school. And he was like, oh, no, we're going to get, like, my parents are going to kick me out of the house. He was so scared. He was like, what? And I was just wasted. I couldn't move. And so he cleaned up my puke. And while he was doing it, I was like, dude, I love you. And I'm so sorry. But it's going to be a story that I tell when I'm older. I kicked him in the ass. Not hard, but I just kicked him in the ass while he was cleaning up my vomit. Not because it was hard or made him feel bad or anything like that. I cracked up and I was just laughing. I was laughing at the top of my lungs. And it was like 3:45 in the morning. And he was like, I can't believe I'm cleaning up your puke and you just kicked me in the ass as a thank you. And it's not like I'm an asshole. I don't normally do things like that. Just the opportunity arised. I am what I would say is I am definitely what I would call a chaotic neutral personality. So it has to be fun. And he knew, and he still loves me, and he didn't care that I did this either. He didn't care. You could ask him again. He probably won't remember it really, but like I remember it because it was just kind of funny. It had to do with being in the moment, being funny, impeccable timing, pushing the limit, and like doing something that would say, sir, basically causes the situation of like, sir, I would like you to leave. He couldn't believe it when I did it. He was like, you fucking asshole. And I was like, I'm sorry. And I thought he was going to sprawl in the puke. That's why I did it. I was that drunk and wasted. And and he was like, I am never going to let you live. Like, I don't know. It was just crazy. And that's the druggie, right? That's who I've been. That's who I was for a long time. Not like a sloven drunk. I've never been a slovenly drunk person. Not really. I was more of a tweaky upper person, you know? And like, so what one wouldn't say that I was like two-faced like Shane Dawson. I've always been consistent about the stories. I'll tell the stories. I'll talk about the people that were there with me when I was dealing with it. I don't have any shame about who I was. And I wasn't a very normal person. And I would say most of my life was good, but not all of it. And, you know, and so this thing about like they look at him, I think they look at him and they see this two-faced person. And I think, well, I believe I've dodged that bullet. I've been consistent since I was like 13 years old. I started getting high when I was like, I don't know, 19 or something like that, on hard drugs anyways. I stayed pretty consistent with that. I would say not consistent for 20 years, but I would say I'd like pretty much kept at it, you know? Being two-faced and different personality or whatever, or being bouncy or not. And I'm bouncy when it comes to games, but that's it. Like the rest of it, I'm like fairly consistent. I'm the same motherfucker that I was when I was 14. You know, I like honestly, like everybody would say it too. I hear it all the time. Well, you know him. He's really he's still 16. Like, I still say things like, yeah, your life's not complete unless you go 100 miles per hour that day. I still believe it too. So I don't always go out every day, but when I do, I go 100 miles an hour in a car. Because, I don't know, it's just like, that's what's fun for my chaotic neutral personality at the time. I like talking about myself, you know? So the problem with all of this is, like, I think he was like, what is the word? He was tailoring his personality, his image, and his aspect in the public's eye to whatever he thought was funny at the time. Now I can relate to this, but I don't care. I've never cared what they thought. So, like I don't know. Like their generation cared a lot about what people thought. That was never our vibe. I didn't care what people. I didn't care how people thought how I smelled. I didn't care. I didn't look in. I still don't look in the mirror. I can't remember the last time I looked in the mirror. I guess when I shave, I'll look in the mirror. I guess. I don't care how I look. I don't care how I come across. I don't care who I offend. I think, like this is the difference. Like I look at this person, I think he cares that they canceled him. I care that they canceled him because it's weird. Consistency was something that he was good about for like 12 years. So I care that they cancel him because I think he put in the time and all that work. I don't care what they think, and this to me is not work. You know what I'm saying? It's work, and I do it every day, 14 hours a day. And I'm arrogant like this. I've always been arrogant like this. I know better about what I do with my own life. I used to say, when I was like 15 years old, I tell people, my own counsel will I keep as to what Jedis I keep around me. You know, My own counsel will I keep about how I feel about you. My own counsel will I keep about how I run my band or my crew. My own counsel will I keep. You know, and I used to say it like that too. Like a Jedi. My own counsel I will keep on all these things. I don't care what they think about me. I don't care if they care if I rage out over fucking getting wedged for 25 minutes and threaten to sock a developer in the face. I don't care, and that's the problem. The tragedy to me now is that I don't care, and I know I don't care, and that feels heartless to me, like that song by Kanye. In the night, they sing a song called The Story Ever Told. Someone's so fucking lost to like human decency that he just doesn't care what people think anymore about anything that I did, from the heroin to the meth to the girls to all. I don't like to all of it, drug dealing or any of that stuff. I don't care I never did care what people thought. I don't care what my best friend thought when I kicked him in the ass while he was cleaning up my vomit, being a beloved friend. I've done things like taking jail charges for him, so you know it goes both ways. But like neither of us thought it was improper. You know what I'm saying? That like most people couldn't get away with that sort of thing. But the chaotic neutral guy will. He knows that I'm in it for the fun. And the fun thing would be to do the most inappropriate fucking thing that I can possibly fucking think of when someone's cleaning, like so beloved that they're like taking care of you by cleaning up your puke when you're too drunk to do it yourself. Literally holding your hair back at the toilet kind of thing. And you kick them in the ass. Just not because you're mean or that you even think that it's funny. It was funny, but because it's inappropriate and it's what I shouldn't have done, and I've got to seize that moment and do it anyways. And that's something that I think I do share with Shane. He just pushed it anyways. He would push it anyways. Blackface, coming on a cat. All that weird shit he would talk about. He didn't care. He would push the envelope and stuff. I have many friends like that who literally talk. I have several friends, like an old friend whose name starts with N, right? They literally talk in shock value statements designed to make you mortified, terrified, and afraid. And they don't talk a lot. But when they do, it's whatever they say is impeccably timed, impeccably versed. These are the hipster douchebags that I surrounded myself with all of my life. I don't know why I did this. I just did. I surrounded myself with hipster douchebaggeries up inside of hipster douche nozzles completely stuffed inside of hipster douche nozzles used to clean up hipster douche nozzle, hipster douchebags who literally speak in colloquialisms like Tom York and speak in shock value things. Literally, I don't know, basically people who have spent time, I don't know too many people, but a bunch of them have spent time in mental facilities. And my best friends, not one of them hasn't, but my other best friend has definitely spent time in a mental institution like me. And so this, this thing about like he cares what they think was the real tragedy about all this. I caught him like apologizing. Like he was like apologizing for it. And I'm like, do you know how much easier your fucking life would be? And trust me, I'm the douchebag who says I'm sorry all the time. If I step on your toes, if I spill a little bit of water, if I blow some smoke in your face, or I burp or fart, or I can't help you with whatever you need, or whatever, I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. And they're like, stop apologizing. You apologize. Like, everybody I know will say that. That's consistent about me. I apologize about everything way, way too much, right? And I'm learning now, as I get older, the whole difference between getting canceled and not getting canceled, I would say, for somebody like Shane Dawson, right, is whether or not he was sorry. If you're not sorry, you're probably fine. And I think this is probably where this stuff is like where
It's not me. Have I done sketches where kids were saying crazy things?
So do you see how they probably canceled him not because of the things that he did, but because he apologized afterwards and acted like he didn't mean it? And I think the apology can actually get you, it actually is the cancel. I think the apology is the cancel. I'm watching people like some Sniper Wolf walk clean off doxing people specifically because they don't apologize. And I think this is the difference. Now, he was able to farm another 13 million views when he's like 33 years old and has acne on his neck like me, and he's older and fatter and balder and unhappier and has like red face from maybe drinking too much or eating too much or something. I don't know where, whatever it is. And
yes. Do I regret it? Yes. Even I saw a vlog clip of me and my cousin who was, I don't know, probably 12 or 13 at the time, and we were, I was doing the birds and the bees talk. Dumb, gross shit. And I remember a few years ago, I reached out to her mom, my aunt, and I was like, I'm so sorry.
But honestly, I like, now I know it's inappropriate to talk with a 13-year-old kid, especially when you're like 30 or 40, to talk with a 13-year-old kid about sex. But see, my thing is what's wrong with society is because we can't do that. I'm not saying we need to talk with 13-year-olds about sex, like in terms of some pervy shit. I'm talking about what's wrong with sex education. And often I feel like a lot of the times, they don't talk about it the right way. Like I think like honestly, if I had like a 13-year-old girl around me for some reason, I don't know why I would, but if I had like a 13-year-old girl around me, somebody's niece or something, I don't know, for some weird reason, I don't know why I would, but if it ever did happen, I'd be like, yeah, men will try to use you, hun. Men will try to have sex with you in different ways. You got to turn them down all the time. We're after that thing down there. We might convince you it's your personality or whatever the fuck. This is, and trust me, and the first time that you do it with a boy, make sure it's special because they remember, right? And that's the advice I would give to a 13-year-old girl about sex. I don't want to talk about condom. I mean, I'll talk about, and always use a condom, I guess. I do want to talk about that. But I don't want to talk about pervy shit with some 13-year-old girl or whatever. But like romantic advice, like love line advice is always appropriate. Always. Loveline advice is appropriate. I've always thought it was. Like Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla are fucking proof of it. All he was probably doing was Loveline advice. And trust me, 13-year-old kids need that. They need Loveline advice. Don't talk about anal with them or some weird shit like that, or porn or any of that weird shit. Talk about fucking like what men actually want. Talk about the ways that cheating will affect relationships. Talk about innocence and stuff like that, and losing it, how bad it can be for you. But and talk about contraception. But like acting like that stuff doesn't exist, or that we can't talk about it because of age or something like that, is really weird, because the things that I just mentioned, I don't believe are particularly perverted or should be considered taboo conversation around a teenager. Because like ignoring sex or acting like it isn't there is and so I want to defend him on this one. And now he was probably doing it for shock value. That's the problem. I would do it because I think it's bad to have these things be taboo. I really do. I'm ultra left-wing liberal. I think the taboo is what's wrong with America. You want to know why I think... You want to know okay. You want to know why I think we have crack problem and cartel problem and, like, sex worker problem and, like, COVID problem? I think it all boils down to two simple issues. The first one being the rent's too damn high. The second one is... everything is taboo. We don't talk about how bad it is if you don't know how to pay your taxes. We don't talk about how bad it is if you don't use contraception. We don't talk about how bad it is if you sell sex. Not how bad it is, but how fast money can really have bad costs. Fast money has bad costs, almost always. Fast money doesn't really exist. If it does, it's going to have some cost to your soul or your innocence or some such. That's about as negative as I care to be about sex work. Because I'm not negative about sex work. And honestly, I don't see why we can't talk about sex work with a 13-year-old, because it might come up in their fucking lives, and they should maybe have some education about it. That taboo is the enemy.
I did this. Like, this is insane. I can't believe
Yeah, so now he comes back and he hits you with the judgment that the people in his community hit him with. And he's like, I can't believe or he hits himself with the judgment that they hit him with. I can't believe I did this. I crossed the line and all this stuff, right? But it's wishy-washy to back up. It's wishy-washy to act like you didn't mean these things when you did them. It's wishy-washy to, it's stupid. It's lukewarm. It's the lukewarm that they can't stand. If you're going to be a real one, be a fucking real one.
my cousin like that. And,
Like, don't back up on it. Don't back up on coming on the cat. Don't talk it. Nobody likes it. We canceled you over it or whatever. But don't back up on it. Don't say you're sorry. Because, like, at that point, what was it all for in the first fucking place? You were a pussy. We're looking for somebody strong we can believe in. This is what happens with heroes, right? When you back up and you sound like a little bitch, right?
Hey, it was funny. Like, we all thought it was
I don't know. It's so questionable. I don't know why I acted that way. I'm so sorry. I gotta apologize, and because I do, and
for everyone.
Yeah, you did. Because it's shock value, and I think these things should be talked about. Like, now, okay, as dumb as blackface fucking was, and I don't fucking condone it, it's hilarious that he did it and it became an internet scandal, because I bet it actually did wonders to stop blackface. Now that the kids know how bad blackface is because of him, I doubt we ever see it again. And I'm not saying that defends what he did or makes it better or raises him higher on the bar or any of that shit. I'm just saying life's funny sometimes. Grandmaster says we'll see. How him doing blackface might have actually ended up, and I think it kind of might have been, is he basically got blackface canceled forever. Now, he's not the only people who did blackface. Did you know that Always Sunny in Philadelphia did blackface for an entire episode where they reenacted Lethal Weapon 1? Riggs and Murtaugh. And there's Mac. Full-on blackface playing Murtaugh. Opposite Dennis playing Riggs. And you want to talk about bad blackface. Cancel blackface. Always Sunny in Philadelphia did it way worse than him. Way worse. And Always Sunny wasn't canceled. You want to know why? Because all the network bigwig lawyers and the fact that Always Sunny won't apologize ever. They'll never apologize for anything they ever said or did. Good comedians won't. And that's the problem. He suddenly seemed like a bad comedian when he apologized. We don't want to hear an apology from Dave Chappelle when he runs off to Africa. We don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear the apology. We don't.
Family. That wasn't... I posted like a stupid, weird family moment for everyone.
Yeah, a stupid, weird family moment is what it was. It wasn't some weird pervy thing with a young girl or whatever, like they want to make it out to be. They're full of hyperbole and fallacy. It's a silly family moment, and those things are worth their weight in gold. We love seeing family moments. Remember that show Family Matters? We used to watch sitcoms looking for family moments. We love that shit. Humans love family shit.
I just was so thoughtless with things I was posting for so many
Yep,
years.
and see, it comes across as disingenuous. It comes across as like wishy-washy, and you flip-flopped. Honestly, you should have been stronger on that one. You know who would never apologize to be Jeffree Star. You'll never see Jeffree apologizing. Let's go look at Jeffree Star. I haven't seen any of his stuff in a couple of months, right? Was he canceled? I don't know. Taco Bell Hotel will know. Cool. Yeah, Scorpio.
What's up, everybody?
Palette
Welcome
reveal.
back to my channel. Hi, how are ya? And hi, first of all, it's my birthday. Hi, Scorpio season is officially here.
Thank you, Coffee and Cults, for the excellent content for my channel. I'd like to sub to your channel. Thank you, Scorpio and Pally, for by extension, H3 and Toddy. Hi Scorpio, Scorpio Palette Collection Reveal by Jeffree Star. We like Jeffree Star. We hope him success and such.
Here. And baby, I am so excited because yes, we're back. Hi YouTube, how are ya? We have the
Or is it her? I'm sorry. We hope her success. Whatever the... I mean, no offense.
For years, you guys have been asking for a Scorpio.
I plead ignorance.
I never wanted to hop on the Zodiac train. So many brands has already done that, but baby, I am the epitome of a Scorpio. And girl, today we are unveiling the new palette, new lipsticks, new shades of liquid eyeshadows. We have new lip oil.
And he basically heard from Shane's. This is the first time I heard it because Peter Mon said that he called me a sociopath. Which what?
You're right. I saw that video.
Not everyone's a sociopath, Shane. Just because you had a fake ass therapist on your series that was whatever.
He's a sociopath. If anyone is.
And also he called me.
I don't see a lot of emotion out of Shane that isn't acting.
She's a pathological liar.
But I don't know him.
I said, oh, Shane's
I think he's genuine.
Prompted him to talk shit behind you. He wasn't like, can I trust her? She's like, oh, I'm hanging out with her. He's like, oh, cool, I love her. She's one of my best friends. You'll have a good time. It's like, no, she's a pathological liar.
That was.
It's like, sorry.
And I hung out with Peter Mon after that, so clearly I wasn't a pathological liar because I did want to hang out with him. It was insane to me. That to me was the scariest thing. You expect it from Jeffree. Jeffree once again is gonna get off the hook with this because he's a mean girl. He's known for that. That's his MO. I think he kind of likes it. Shane, however, is a little two-faced snake. Rylan is also a little two-faced snake, and I don't. Honestly, would rather be best friends with Jeffree than have to see them ever again.
Well, at least you know what to expect with Jeffree.
That's what I'm saying.
Because, like you said, he's just a douche. That's just his defining characteristic as a human being.
I get it. Hey, I get that. I respect it more, I should have known because everyone has these issues with him. I should have known.
But Shane, the so-called, what is it?
Empath.
Yeah, the empath. This fucking cracks me up.
No one can you can't call yourself an empath. That's like saying I'm a good person. You can't just say that. You're obviously not if you have to say that you are. It's like people call themselves rich. If you have to call yourself rich, you're not rich.
You're clearly not an empath.
Empathy would be Shane's strong suit, though. I think he is an empath, and I full-blown disagree with Ethan. And her. Empathy is what Shane Dawson sells. Shane Dawson is empathy. That should be the name of his fucking palette drop or whatever. Shane Dawson is empathy. That's who he is. The reason he did blackface is because he empathizes with black people. Trust me. He empathizes for gay people. He empathizes for animals. Empathy is who he is. I've watched him enough to know. Empathy is who he is. And I full-blown disagree with their offhanded dismissal.
Shane seems incapable of retaining a friend, and I have a lot more to say about the way he treats.
Now, last time I saw Shane, he was surrounded by the same 7 to 10 people, a posse that he's always had, and I know his boyfriend's name is Rylan, but I can't remember all their fucking names or anything. But last time I saw Shane, he had his whole posse with him, and that was 3 months ago, I think. He moved to my neighborhood in Colorado. All those streamers moved to my neighborhood in Colorado, where I grew up. I'm shit you not. Lakewood, Colorado, man. Or Golden, essentially. Platt Park area. West Side Denver, West Side.
His alleged friends, especially in regards to Trisha Paytas, Andrew Swift,
anything west of Broadway,
and also about Desiree Smith, as I've said before. But I will talk about
Denver for life, bitch.
In that. So now we're entering 2013, and over the course of the next 2 years, a huge part of Dawson's life was the TV show The Chair. I honestly can't believe Dawson didn't lose his career after The Chair aired, because he is full mask off in this show, and we truly see the real Shane Dawson.
Oh, I'm gonna see that.
He is awful to people.
Many times is a problem for people. So
So if we just like lose that, I'm just saying, I'm not taking anything out of the movie to please a bunch of out-of-work actors in Pittsburgh who should be lucky to get an audition for a feature film. I know
Tell him,
I've
Shane.
never taken anything out of a movie to get somebody to audition.
Nope.
That we're finding out about this 2 days before we start filming.
Yeah. Nope. There's an actual man who you can't just walk all the fuck over. Yep, that's how a real man will act. Yep, like a bunch of out-of-work actors trying to tell me what the fuck to do. Blah blah blah. You know, like nope. Yeah, and it's weird because they're like oh, the mask off. He's such. Are you guys surprised when these celebrities are actually like really mean people? Because you shouldn't be. Celebrities are usually really mean people. You kind of have to be. It makes you very callous. like that.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do this, and I'm really annoyed because I feel like I have not come across any less than a collaborative person. If you guys told me like, hey, I think there's a lot of work to it, I'd be like, okay, great, let's do it.
You won't read the notes?
I want to see all the notes.
You said the opposite to me. You specifically told me that night, you guys are going to send me the notes and I'm never going to read them.
I mean, as a joke.
But it's been a week and you haven't read them either, so
But I don't know where they are. Because I need you guys to come and say, hey, listen, this is the consensus from the card.
That's different from reading.
I'm supposed to read every single card.
I read every single one.
I'm interested to hear, like, specific things.
The one note...
The show The Chair was a reality show, and Shane and another person, Anna Martimucci, were both chosen to make a video based on the same script, and the winner would get a cash prize. They also were both given $850,000 to make their version of the movie.
I'm angry, actually. I'm angry. The fact that $850,000 got put into making something that was so egregiously offensive. And not only the material, but actually the fact that $850,000 was put into making that. It made me angry.
I don't quite know why they thought this would be fair, because Anna Martimucci entered as an unknown director, and Shane came in and his YouTube channel had millions of subscribers at this stage. Shane Dawson ended up making the movie Not Cool, and it is actually the worst movie ever put to film. The other contestant was Anna Martimucci, who was a graduate from NYU Film School. As I said, Shane was actually himself in the chair, and the audience got to see what he was really like, because he wasn't in control of the narrative like he usually is with his YouTube channel and editing and social media. He wasn't filming the TV show portion, so he didn't have say over the final edit or what they filmed.
Start to really see like Shane does not want to appear the way he can tell he's appearing.
Your note, they're gonna roll the tape back. It's gonna go back to him saying that the first 25 minutes doesn't work because Tori's not in it, and then go to me saying, I think that I want to do it this way. That was the first note you went into. Is the one that you knew they were gonna use.
No, I don't, Shane, because I'm not thinking about the TV show. I haven't even thought about that since that day.
This TV show was really one of the only times you really got to see the real Shane Dawson until June 27th, 2020, when Shane Dawson tore his mask off completely for the world to see, but we'll talk more about that later. There is actually a point in the chair where Shane is filming at a tattoo studio, and the owner of the tattoo studio asks the producers to not put her name in the credit, not put her shop's name in the credit, cover up any emblems or names of her shop so that nobody knows that it's actually her shop, because she said she went online last night and watched Shane's content and she just tore it apart. She was saying how awful it is, how he was absolutely racist and sexist, and just it was the most terrible content she'd ever seen, and she did not want to be associated with it in any way.
The tattoo shop owner wanted to murder me for reals, like not with a blood tube, like with actual blood coming out of my body. And she's just like, I watched his videos last night. They're disgusting. They're racist. I hate him.
And they're not really receptive. Like, I wonder what led her to that conclusion that Shane is racist. Maybe I'll look into that. They're like, no, I watched his videos. I don't think he's racist at all.
Why'd you let us shoot here then?
I only watched his videos this morning. I didn't want to fuck up your crew.
Yeah, that was very nice of you.
It's also not even funnier than is the thing.
is
disgusting.
no, I get it.
No, it's like, I don't understand how he can get away with such blatant, horrible, like, racist, fucked up.
So I do like to point to this to show it really wasn't that much of a different time. There was just certain people trying to get away with being racist like any other time, and this was completely inappropriate then, but he still did it. The Chair showed Shane Dawson in a very bad light, and he even seemed to realize that he was coming off badly. Luckily for him, not that many people saw it, but he spent the entire series dragging other people, yelling at his friends and producers, and one in particular, his friend Lauren. I do not know what she was doing with him, because she seems to be a very hardworking, switched on person. I don't really know that much about her, but Shane treated her like absolute garbage. The only redeemable thing about this actual movie was Drew Monson's performance, and then in the show The Chair, Lauren seemed to do a lot of the work and try to soften the awful sides of Shane. And of course, spoiler alert, Shane ended up winning because he had millions of subscribers and Anna was completely unknown. I really do wish Anna Martinucci would have won, because she seemed to actually have talent and people seemed to like working on her movie, but all of Shane's teen and tween fans went to go see the movie, even though he is in complete denial of that's why he won. Shane was given the $850,000 to make his movie, and then he won $250,000, and he already was a millionaire from YouTube. Even though, as I mentioned in the beginning, Shane Dawson seems to like to cosplay as low income, because he thinks just because he was low income when he was a child that he's forever low income, even though he's been rich way longer than he was ever low income. So at the end of the show, The Chair, they did share the reviews that were given for Shane's movie, Not Cool, and they are honestly the worst reviews I've ever seen for anything in my life. And the movie was so bad that Zachary Quinto, who was involved with the project, and another producer actually took their names off Shane's movie because they were so disgusted by it.
You must be a sociopath.
That was in the Los Angeles Times.
This movie got some of the worst reviews I've ever seen.
I have never read that said the people involved in giving this person should never be allowed in the film business again.
For me, reviews don't really mean whether a movie is good. To have 5 middle-aged white dudes judge your movie, especially a teen comedy, not really the tell-all for
everyone's like, we got destroyed by the reviews. Everyone hated it. And then Shane's like, oh, I don't actually think that matters at all to play into my opinion. It's like he has to put up such a wall against these things. He has an answer for the reason why everything is negatively received. Here he's saying, oh, a regular movie gets like 200 critical reviews. Not Cool got only 5. So if 5 middle-aged white guys didn't like it, whatever. Those are movie critics. So, I mean, they know what they're talking about. Also, like, movie critics, they, whatever age or race they are, they have also reviewed other children's movies, other teen comedies. They've seen Superbad. They're not missing the point. They're giving their professional opinion on the story and the execution of your film, and both were lacking. Like, it's so bad. And I'm sorry, I don't blame the reviewer for being like, who gave this guy the money to do this? Because that's all I could think when watching it. Like, knowing how much work goes into a movie and how many awesome stories there are to tell from underrepresented filmmakers out there. Like, they could have given that $850,000 to a woman of color, or to any person of color, really, and have a story told. Like, let me see this story being told through the eyes of a black filmmaker or something, not a stupid filmmaker.
Of course, Shane Dawson, who has no training or experience in the film industry, claims Zachary Quinto, who has been extremely successful not only in different genres of film but also on television. Shane Dawson claims Zachary Quinto just doesn't get it.
The producers involved in the docuseries who helped produce both movies, they all agreed that Otto's movie was better. In fact, Zachary Quinto was so horrified by Shane Dawson's movie, he wanted his name taken off the credit.
I cannot associate myself in name to that kind of content. I just can't do it. It just clarified for me the kinds of things that I want to be a part of, and that's important for me personally.
Zach has decided to take his name off of Shane's film and not participate in the promotion of that. I believe I'm going to do the same thing.
So after the chair, Shane Dawson was doing a lot of kids content. He was copying a lot of kids content, even the style of their thumbnails. And if we fast forward a few years, we're still in 2017 now. Shane has Garrett Watts join the channel, and Garrett actually started out as his Tinder date. They only went on 2 dates and it didn't work out, and then Shane, Garrett, and Drew became kind of a trio, and they began shooting videos together and doing Spooky Boys. So they did that for a while. It was popular, of course. Then Shane and Drew had kind of a falling out. No one really knows what happened, but of course Shane blames Drew. Drew left the group, and then Shane decides to introduce his new boyfriend, Ryland. After introducing Ryland, that is when he started doing his conspiracy videos. So these videos were going to be a lot of work, and that's when Garrett introduced Dawson to his friend, Andrew. And Andrew started out as Shane's camera guy, and then in 2018, they revealed who Andrew was, and people seemed to really enjoy Garrett and Andrew being on the channel. As we saw earlier, Shane Dawson is awful to work with and extremely self-centered, despite constantly trying to tell people what a wonderful, caring empath he is. So I'm sure Garrett and Andrew were really going through it. Shane then started doing his documentary style videos, which honestly,
Shane is a diva, and empathy is where he lives.
Every last dollar, despite already being like a multi-millionaire that could retire. But we'll talk about his finances later. In his series about Jake Paul, Dawson hired a family therapist to secretly analyze Paul and didn't tell Paul that that's what he was doing. He told Paul that the therapist was actually his assistant. I don't know a huge amount about Katie Morton, who was the woman that appeared in The Mind of Jake Paul, but my understanding is she is a family and marriage therapist, so her expertise is not psychopathy. And I can tell you that when people now use words like sociopath, it's kind of a red flag, because it's just not something that professionals would use. They would go more to psychopathy. And then also, when people use the term subconscious, that also is a big red flag to me, because in psychiatry, psychology, whatever way you want to say it, nobody would use the word subconscious. There actually is no mention of subconscious, it's unconscious. So that also was a red flag. Take what is being said with a huge pinch of salt, and also anything Shane Dawson is saying is 99% of the time for money or views. So I can't imagine that he was taking this seriously. And the way he kind of mouths and implies Garrett, knowing that this video would be seen by millions and millions of people, is just gross. Like, so gross, knowing that he would see it too. And also Garrett, like, if you've seen any of his content, Garrett is literally the opposite of that. So throughout these documentaries, you know, there was many more after Jake Paul, all stretched out to ridiculous time lengths, with things like Shane going to the gym. And I don't understand why you wouldn't take this like vlog side and bits about himself and put them onto other videos and make those for like your super fans. But of course, he's just padding out his runtime for even more sponsorships and even more mid-rolls. So as these documentaries are going on, you can see how toxic Dawson is becoming. He's so rude to especially Garrett, Andrew, others around him. As I said before, like, most of these people seem like nice people. And you also see at multiple points where Dawson just seems so self-centered and toxic, to the point where you have Jake Paul talking about his abusive father and breaking down and crying in front of him, and Dawson sitting there waiting basically to talk about himself. Like, he could not be any less interested. So now we're going to enter 2019 and the beauty community. Dawson was going to do a documentary on Jeffree Star, and he wanted something
It was
in
good,
return.
too.
He wanted Jeffree Star to make him rich. The thing about Dawson is he's already rich, but he wants to be richer, no matter what he tells you when he's cosplaying as low income. And as I said before, even though he's been richer far longer than he ever was low income, and he's not just doing well, he's a multi-millionaire living in multiple mansions and being able to afford whatever he wants. This relationship between Shane and Jeffree seems to be born out of and maintained by using each other, and on both sides they also are being exposed to their non-traditional audience. So Jeffree is being exposed to Shane's, and Shane is being exposed to Jeffree's, and then Shane is also being able to enter the beauty community, put out a product, and make a lot of money.
This is where Shane lets some of that temper come through that I first witnessed in the reality show The Chair back in 2015, which was the first indication to many that he is not the nice soft boy that he likes to pretend to be.
He can boot some people off of the site in an attempt to try to gain access to the back end.
Who's asking?
Shopify.
Fix it.
Cool.
So public perception at this time was quite high for Shane of the people who watched his stuff, but then mid-project, Shane gets held accountable for his past actions, and he actually then begins to document that in the projects. This isn't his main major cancellation. That was June 2020. This is kind of a preview of that. And you think the fact that he's saying every year this happens and people call him out about these things, you think that would mean he would take down all of this content. But again, he didn't, because it was making him money, and he didn't take the majority of this stuff down until June 2020. Not all of it was up. Some of the stuff, like the podcast, was lost to time, and clips that other people posted were there. But a lot of his stuff, especially the Shanae character, that was still up in the merch store, not even just clips of it, and that was all making him money until June 2020.
For the first 10 minutes, they're really just kind of processing this scandal on Shane's end, and in a way kind of normalizing the fact that he always has scandals.
The Shane is over party, that would never happen.
Oh, it's annual. It's every year. It literally is.
Imagine flashing headlines about your child's sex abuse allegations on screen while laughing and dismissively saying, oh, it's
BRB.
annual. Like, that kind of editing would be too obvious in a video that's trying to make him look bad. Sometimes I get the feeling that Shane and Andrew are just hyping each other up while they edit these videos. Yeah, add another one of those sounds. Ooh, yeah. Put a screenshot from Twitter in with the background of the Twitter logo. Profesh. And then Shane just uploads it without getting anyone's outside feedback to be like, maybe you don't need to include those headlines while you're talking about this because it kind of gives the wrong message. Because to me, it's just showing that you're a person who's well documented making awful jokes. So in his apology, he basically says, now that I'm making stuff I love, I'm being myself, it feels so much better. I'm sorry for what I said about anything or anyone that was offensive. Without my past, I wouldn't be who I am. This has been the best 2 years of my life. It's because I've been able to drop the act and be myself. Sorry for not doing this here. So that apology was all about basically just like a blanket apology for all of his offensive jokes, including the cat thing. But what I noticed is like a lack of ways mentioned that he plans to make it right. You know, like how are you making it right besides just being your true authentic self now? Because that's actually not the same as apologizing or making right on all of those people or groups that you harm, right? Like there was no like, I'm starting conversations with these groups of people that I offended. I'm having a discussion over here about blah blah blah, about being responsible towards the young audience.
Seems so right now. We'll see.
Safely, like I'm educating myself, not basically like just drop it because I've apologized so many times and I'm not doing it anymore.
So Shane starts his documentary series about Jeffree Star that could have been
Here are
2
the
interesting
options.
episodes, but instead they are 7 bloated parts that are just money-hungry messes. At the time, I really did try and watch one of these episodes, but
Where are the options
I couldn't
at?
even make it through
What?
5 minutes. So many people were hyping it up that I was like, oh, it must be good if all these people are saying this. And yeah, I couldn't get through the first few minutes. It was unbelievably poor content, but also the way it was structurally thought out, it was obvious he was just
Wow.
filming per episode and throwing things up per episode. There was no overarching story or even a storyline within the actual
Wow.
episode
Did
we
my
were
keyboard
watching.
die?
If you want to watch them and understand all of that and why they are
Yes.
so bad, please go and watch Nick DeRamio. He is an amazing YouTuber, and he went through every episode of the series, and he's gone through pretty much all of Dawson's content. I absolutely love Nick. He's hilarious, and he definitely doesn't need me, a tiny YouTuber.
I'm gonna pause to eat dinner here, guys, but I won't be long. We'll watch this video full screen.
Him out. This is more for your benefit if you haven't heard of him, but he is brilliant, and he really knows what he's talking about when it comes to breaking down film. And also Shane Dawson.
Oh, thank you.
Guess we'll do a giveaway.
And I'll do a getaway, because every time you pull that clown face, I start running. Imagine thinking you could just say something funny and then making a face and being like, and that's the comedy. That's the closest to comedy that I'm willing to go. Oh, I'm drinking a little mug. Ooh, it smells so muggy. That didn't make me laugh. That didn't make you laugh.
Anyone I mention in this video or use a snip of their video, their stuff will be linked in the description box, so there's plenty of great content to check out. Shane was also using this docuseries as a marketing tool to launch the conspiracy palette, conspiracy collection. So that was actually clever. Like, that was really clever marketing, but the execution was just horrendous. They did not need to be so many episodes. I mean, a normal documentary,
I thought it was good.
actually like complicated subjects, they're between like 2.5 hours. So think of like Blackfish and things like that. And even when you think about Netflix and one of the documentaries that they do, take Bad Vegan for example, that was a super complicated story told over a really long time with many people, and they did 4 episodes. Dawson did multiple parts. Some of these have like 6, 7, 8 parts, and they're hours
The people
and
wanted
hours
content.
long. It's just pure greed again driving this, and not actual substance, because the stuff he adds in, like about the beauty community when he goes to the gym and he's drinking root beer, and he just shows absolutely nothing. Only his superfans would be interested in this, so why don't you do a superfan cut or put it in a separate blog channel? Of course he wouldn't do that, because one, it's more work, and also because the big sponsorships like Honey and all of these, they wouldn't give as much or as frequent sponsorships, so it's better for him just to put it on YouTube as many hours as possible, as many mid-rolls as possible, and he's kind of getting paid twice with the sponsorship and all the mid-rolls. So Dawson was riding high after the documentaries came out, after the palette came out. I don't follow Dawson or Star at all, and even I heard about this palette and how it was breaking websites and all of this stuff, but this was when Dawson was probably at his best. Like, he was pulling in over 40 million views a video. He had about 21 million subscribers. It's dropped a bit since then, and he just couldn't pump out things fast enough. Like, people really thought he was just like the greatest at this stage, and obviously I don't know how much money they made from the makeup line, but it had to be insane. Now we're going to talk about Dramageddon 2 and Shane Dawson's cancellation. First, we need a little bit of backstory. If you want to know more about all of this, there are literally thousands of videos about all of this on the internet, so I'm just going to give a very brief overview. Basically, in between Shane Dawson's original Jeffree Star series, The Beautiful World of Jeffree Star, and the second series where the palettes and everything were tied into, there was an event known online as Dramageddon 2.0. This was basically a feud between James Charles, the influencer, his beauty YouTube mentor Tati Westbrook, and Jeffree Star. In the beginning, when Westbrook uploaded her explosive Bye Sisters video, that's where she alleged that James Charles had questionable interactions with straight men. Jeffree Star followed the video with his own accusations against Charles, elevating all this drama into serious claims, and saying that James Charles was a danger danger to society. In his response video,
Wow.
No More Lies, James Charles denied Starr's allegations and revealed lots of private messages that Starr had sent him and other stuff that kind of put James Charles back on everyone's side. Starr never produced any evidence to substantiate his claims and later said he didn't know if they were true. Dawson at this time was publicly uninvolved in the feud but came out in support of Westbrook, and later it was speculated that Dawson had a behind-the-scenes role in the feud. So this would percolate over time, and Shane Dawson also kind of used Dramageddon 2 clips in his trailer for his second series and hyping it up, but then he didn't include any of these teased scenes and he didn't provide any new details about Dramageddon 2, so this disappointed a lot of people. Dawson apologized for teasing the drama in the trailer, and he said, "Putting drama in the trailer was something I regret more than anything in the world, and I'm mad that I chose T over my morals. I'm really sorry to Toddy and James. If me putting their drama in the series at all felt I was reopening wounds, although I did speak to both of them privately about the trailer, I should not have even done it at all," close quote. One of James Charles' close friends at the time, Cassie, responded to Dawson's apology and said, quote, "James kindly asked you not to post that trailer because it would reopen wounds that he was still trying to heal from," close quote. Now this is kind of the beginning of Dawson's cancellations. There was lots of going back and forth on podcasts and receipts and tea, and in June 2020, exposés about Starr and Dawson started gaining traction on YouTube. Multiple drama channels were posting about Jeffree Star, and these videos began to gain traction, popularizing the belief that Starr and Dawson may have had more involvement in Dramageddon 2 than originally thought. More videos, more podcasts, more episodes of Mom's Basement were putting Dawson in a worse and worse light, and under pressure from all of these channels and videos and frustrated fans, Shane Dawson posted a very poorly received note on Twitter, that's kind of an understatement, announcing he would leave the beauty community that he had been in for 3 seconds. Quote, "Welcome to the circus. My final thoughts on the beauty world. A few questions that I've been getting lately. Did I know that she was thinking about making a video? Yes. Did I tell her to make it? No. Did I have any involvement in the video? No. Did I orchestrate it? No. Did I need that kind of drama to make a good series? No. Have I ever tried to ruin a career and make someone look bad in my 15 years on YouTube? No. Do I have a track record of getting into drama with people or having fights with other YouTubers? Am I innocent? And do I have huge anxiety-provoking regrets? Oh, poor you." And it's all stuff about continue. I'll put it on the screen if you really want to read the rest. "The conspiracy palette was one of the best experiences of my life." Yeah, because you got super rich, dude. So saying this was poorly received is just like the understatement of the year, and all of these people who had welcomed Shane Dawson in and also given him a huge amount of money with the palette and letting him come into the beauty community, and he was, you know, obviously pretending that he was interested in it. He was just interested in the money. So rightfully so, all these people were like, this is super rude. And over the next week, people began dredging up receipts of bad behavior by Dawson, including the plethora of racist remarks and inappropriate comments about children, animals, and just everything and anything in between. That's also when
all right, let's
other
do
YouTubers
black
and
screen
people behind the scenes
oh,
started
damn it.
saying
Really?
what the real Shane Dawson is like, and not this character and mask that he plays on his channel.
There we go.
This culminated in several viral Twitter threads and a lot of drama YouTube videos about everything from old racist remarks, Dawson using the N-word on camera many times, to questionable remarks that Dawson has made about young children and pedos. This included comments made to young fans on video chats like Omegle and Tiny Chat, like we mentioned in the beginning of the video, but Dawson also used his podcast as a platform to call young female Instagram users sexy, which saying young female, like that makes it sound like it's like a 16
Why does
16-year-old.
Overwatch black
Dawson,
screen?
in one of these clips, was talking about a
What
literal
the fuck?
6-year-old.
And by the way, like I said, he constantly gets in trouble for these things. He started canceling Black a couple
Hold
years
on.
ago when statements he made
Every client I use is a worthless piece of shit fucking theft client.
about looking up
Steals
child
from you.
porn and calling a child sexy.
Every
And
client.
Shane Dawson's claim was that this was edited out of context to make him sound bad.
podcast, I mean, there's so many clips that people are bringing out. So there's a clip.
How do I
that's been going
defeat
around
this? I
again,
don't
a few years
know.
ago is when it came out, and they cut out all the parts where I said, pedophilia is disgusting, and they put it together, and it made it seem like I was, talking about how it's normal.
There we go.
Gross. I would never say that.
So
Sorry, guys. Blizzard's incompetent, I guess. And OBS and Blizzard don't mix.
But because he claims that,
So apparently Overwatch died because of it.
I
I don't
literally
know.
have to play this full thing so that you can understand that he was lying.
But I don't know how
This
that
is what he said.
big of a massive failure that probably cost millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars has never been addressed in the public before ever, or never even brought to the public's eye or talked about in an interview or anything like that. But yeah, Blizzard is kind of really incompetent in the respect that Overwatch will just show as a black screen on both Streamlabs, OBS, and every other fucking streaming platform out there. And I don't really understand why. And you have to run game capture. You can't run display capture or you get black screen. Like, you can't do a screen capture of Overwatch, which is just odd. Frankly, odd. But I mean, that's the new age. AAA is stealing from us with no prosecutions. 27 years, not a single lawsuit. That's the modern age that we live in. That's who they are. They're thieves. They steal from us with black screens and bad clients and, etc. I wish it didn't come up on my stream as much as it did, the corporate theft. But it comes up every day, 15, 20 times. Straight up corporate theft. Corporate incompetence. Pretty much the lifeline of Overwatch is its streaming capabilities, as well as, of course, as a game. And if you can't stream it, no wonder it's dead. Fucking idiots.
Rebecca Black has made a little less of a sex. She hasn't had sex with many black guys. She did probably with that guy. She's 15. Stop it. Growing up. She's almost 16. When I asked her, I said, how old are you? She's 16. She's so young. She's like, I'm almost 16. As if when she turns 16, we could talk about dicks to her. Well, I have a nun. Oh, okay. Now, this is a nun that I just realized a few days ago. I was with Lisa. I'm not going to say why
What?
or how. Like, with my car, I took a child. It was done. I said, oh, I should probably have one. But the child was probably...
Wow.
And I was taking a picture of something. And the kid turns to me and goes, oh, are you Instagramming? And first of all, how does 5-year-olds know what Instagram is? Right. Second of all, I was embarrassed because, yes, I was. And it was a picture of my salad. So then,
that's super delicious. I saw it. It's amazing.
and this 6-year-old girl goes, oh, how many followers do you have? I mean, first of all, it was almost like one of those contests where it's like, how big is your dick? And this kid slapped his feet before he put this on the table and was like, a 6-year-old who goes, oh, I have 125,000. No. Ridiculous. Almost. Really? And I said, okay, well, big dick. Why do you have so many followers? And she goes, oh, I'm a cheerleader. I'm like, oh, really? And she shows me her Instagrams, which are like, first of all, I want to say this. You're disgusting. I know, listen, we talked about pedophilia before.
Shane, like, do not say this. Like, I don't even know. Like, you just gotta remember. I'm kind of,
listen,
allegedly justification for pedophilia, and it's so disturbing, and like, I pretend like he doesn't.
Okay, but no, let me explain. No. Explain. Here's my justification. Okay, first of all, let me just say,
Bear with me, guys. Got a phone call. Hello?
So why is it when somebody looks at a Google's like thing, they can get wrecked? I don't understand. Because there's a
and they don't, and then by the way, they're not using a naked face. They're like, I'm not gonna say what they're doing. I mean, I watch a lot of
Okay, back to the Instagram. So I look at this little girl's pictures, and she had makeup tears. She was doing like this sign, she was doing backflips, and one of them she was in the shape of a pretzel, and she's like, hashtag no filters, hashtag pretzel. I mean, like, I'm not making this up. Why are children...
Was she really 6 or was she like...
She was sick. No, her bio on Instagram is, I'm sick, bitch.
Stop it.
No, so why... First of all...
Is she like Honey Boo Boo? Was she bad?
No, she was like a skinny little sexy 6-year-old.
Sorry.
No, so that's my ugh. Why are children having Instagram, and why do they almost have as many followers as I do?
That's your ugh. Mine is...
Okay, fine, move on. But I'm serious.
I don't know. I don't really
I'm ugging out of it.
It's disturbing. By the way, they're all the followers. They're all definitely followers.
No. I have never heard call a 6-year-old sexy before my entire life. Like, sexy like a 6-year-old. If I personally knew something, we talked about children now, I would not interact with them. I would not. Quite simply. I would never let somebody like that around my children. Never.
He's also compared things like children to having a foot fetish, and everything just kept coming out. All videos, captioned photos of Dawson with children that depicted children in disgusting ways, talking to children
12
about
and 2.
sex, and imitating predatory behavior in a mocking way. And it just kept coming. This kind of all culminated.
I'm gonna mute the
at an
microphone for
absolute
just a second
peak
here.
Whenever someone posted the clip of Shane Dawson doing something disgusting to a Willow Smith poster, and the Smith family saw it, you know, the super famous Smith family.
Now, what did I tell you? What you said, can I put the baby you said? High five, girlfriend.
In addition to this, his audience would discover clip of Shane acting inappropriately towards Willow Smith, who is the daughter of Will Smith. The Smith family, who these days are considered the biggest joke in Hollywood, would snap back against Shane Dawson with Jaden tweeting, "I'm screaming at the top of my lungs." This man was also doing blackface on the regular. As the youth, we need to support creators who support us and our morals. This is not okay. Whilst Willow Smith's mother, Jada Pinkett Smith, would tweet, "To Shane Dawson, I'm done with the excuses."
They put out a tweet on social media, and over this time, Dawson then tried to private and hide his videos because people were finding more and more stuff, and there's probably stuff that he did hide that we haven't seen, and this stuff that I'm showing you in this video is only what we know. So he privated over 1 billion views of questionable content that absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, had a plethora of disgusting things in it. And he also dropped from 23 million to 22 million. I think he's gone under 20 million now. I think he's at 19 million. And after this absolute flood, tornado, catastrophe of content, Dawson made an apology video that, of course,
Hi guys, sorry about this. I've got a small thing I've got to do. I'm going to be AFK here just 5 minutes. I got to run upstairs real quick. And I'm sorry I had an interruption in real life, but it won't be long. BRB, 5 minutes. BRB. Sorry, let me put my other thing on here. I'm so sorry. I'm going to pause the video as well. There will be a pause in this video for 5 or 10 minutes while I deal with something in real life, and I won't be gone long. I'll be right back. Okay, recording. Sorry for the interruption. I had to go do something in real life. I am back. Let us cue. Wow. They really do not want you to stream Overwatch. They will make that screen black. No, I don't want to save this. I've told you so many times. Then, hopefully that'll be right.
Of course, he copied from Jenna Marbles, the great Jenna Marbles. So this is what he said, quote, "Blackface was something I did a lot, and there's no excuse for it. There's literally no excuse. I made a video 6 years ago talking about it, and I gave it excuses, and it was wrong, but I didn't do the work."
As a response to the backlash, Shane Dawson would upload the infamous apology video titled "Taking Accountability," beginning the video by stating that all of his previous apology videos sucked as they had been created out of fear.
Every apology video I've ever made has been, fear. It's me sitting at home thinking the whole world hates me and crying and hyperventilating and then just turning on a webcam.
There's the empath, and he's not lying. These are not lies that he's saying.
Saying I'm sorry and then
See it? There's no random access, nothing. He's not being creative about it. He's been crying in the background like an empath. That's actually who he is. Even if it's feckless and dumb, that's who he actually is. I mean, I mean, this is not a lie.
people know I'm a good person and then it'll go away.
Yep.
And that is stupid. That is something that a child does.
Yep.
Not something that a 31-year-old
I do it all the time.
man does. That's not good.
The problem with this statement was that it suggested that this apology video wasn't being made out of fear when it clearly was.
The video did absolutely nothing. He didn't even really try. Like, he literally sat down, turned the camera on, and just went, "Oh, sorry, get over it," and turned the camera off. He tried to make no reparations. He didn't hold himself accountable for anything. And I will talk more about that and some of the things he even could have tried to do or say when we talk about his return, because he has done absolutely nothing but take a holiday, in my opinion. Basically, he was being dropped left, right, and center. People stopped following him, like famous people. He was being called out everywhere. Morphe dropped his and Star's collection.
Morphe
YouTube
dropped him.
demonetized all 3 of his channels.
Coming on a cat.
All the absolute drama channels and everyone.
Time to come on a cat like
finally
Shane Dawson.
Calling him out for his ridiculous and disgusting behavior. So Shane Dawson posts this video saying he's taking accountability. He's over drama. He doesn't want to be involved, and he doesn't want to, just feed all this drama stuff, and he doesn't want to talk bad about other people. Literally the next day, he goes on live stream where Poppy has posted her video alleging that Dawson and Star manipulated her into making the 2019 feud between her and James Charles. This is Shane Dawson. This is Shane Dawson, full mask off. This is who he really is.
I don't ever want you to feel like I'm forcing you to forgive me. And I promise that whatever I do next will be putting good into the world. And it won't be putting hate or drama or anything negative. This woman is a fucking... Oh my god. I'm gonna wait till as many people get in here as possible because I'm losing my mind.
Editorial outlets knew something was coming before
Because you mentioned drama channels! Oh my god.
Why would you make a video on the matter claiming these allegations?
Because he is a fucking... I can't. I don't want to say mean things about people. You are so manipulative. You're fake crying. You're fake crying.
You're fake crying.
Oh my god. I have been on. Oh my god.
Walking over the top of Tahi and telling her that her abuse doesn't matter because he was abused, and honestly, I just cannot fathom the type of person who speaks like this. I can only imagine what we would have actually seen on this Instagram live, because Shane Dawson's fiance Rylan tells him to get off, so there's only not even a minute, and it's even him just in the beginning being like, oh, I need to get as many people in here as possible, I need to get the most attention on him. To say this was also poorly received, at least he finally showed his real, true self. So even after all of this came out, there was only really 2 people that stood by him, and that was Ryland, his fiance, and Trisha Paytas. And as I've said in the earlier part of this video, I'm not actually talking about Trisha Paytas as a person. I know she's problematic as hell, but I'm talking about her just as she represents. She was Shane's best friend. She was supposed to marry him, and this is how he treats a person who's supposed to be his best friend. So they actually ended up
Please kill him.
a fallout, and they are no longer friends. And this was quite significant because at the time Trisha was on Frenemies, and everyone loved Frenemies, everyone was listening to Frenemies, and Trisha was kind of going through a bit of a redemption arc. So when they stopped being friends, Trisha actually found out that Shane had always been trashing her, and I think it was obvious he just used Trisha, Again, I'm not saying she's an amazing person, I'm just saying as she's a representative of a friend of Shane's and how he treats people, Shane just does not seem to have the capacity to have friends, to have a genuine relationship with someone that's not motivated by money, power, or fame. The only person that seems to still be around Shane Dawson is Ryland, his fiance, and Destry Smith. And Destry Smith is literally a self-admitted predator. I have to say allegedly so that I don't get sued, but he has literally said as much, and he also goes to the Shane Dawson School of Apologies and basically just says, this is my brand, this is who I am, I'm a freak. And Shane Dawson not only platformed Destry in the past and kind of gave him the platform he has now, but he is still platforming Destry Smith to Shane Dawson's very young female audience. And we'll talk a little bit more about that again in the end. So Shane Dawson privated his videos. He pretty much disappeared from YouTube.
Love that
but
sound.
He still continued making money
Teen
off
kill.
merchandise and posting random crap on his Instagram stories. Always got to be making that money. Many people thought maybe he was trying to work on himself, maybe he was really righting his wrongs, maybe he was going to do what Logan Paul did. And Logan not only returned changed, but he actually tried his best to make up to the people that he hurt. Shane Dawson did exactly none of that. Shane Dawson has always found a way to victimize himself and act as though he's just this poor little soft boy that got lucky on YouTube. And in fact, there is a huge business behind him, and everything he does is very carefully curated. But the thing I don't see a lot of people talking about is how little Shane Dawson has done in ways of his apology. His fans will say, oh, it's in the past, get over it, but Shane's still doing these things in recent memory. But more important, until June 2020, he was still making money off all of these videos and still had them up. As a creator, you know it from the library, maybe he couldn't remember exactly every video that everything was in, but he knew all of that racist, sexist, weird crap with kids and animals was up and making him money, which is even more considering he whined constantly that every year or two he got cancelled. He was being reminded constantly that that content was there. So Shane Dawson went away for a while, and there was even rumors that he was working on a Free Britney movie and these other types of documentaries. And I think people, mainly his fans, were trying to justify what he was doing, like he was taking all this time off because he was working on this honorable project, but in reality, he did absolutely nothing. This is another time I would say go and check out Nick's content, because he did a video about Shane Dawson's return, and it's a masterpiece, that video. But Dawson basically opens the video explaining exactly what he's been doing, which I have said was nothing. He does the same thing he always does, makes it all about himself. He talks about mistakes, saying sorry and forgiving, and again, these weren't mistakes, these were consistent patterns of problematic behavior that he did over and over and over again, and left up because he still wanted to make money off it. And unless you're a die-hard Shane Dawson fan, I just don't know what you can possibly get out of these videos, because they're just glorified vlogs that are pulled out for the longest possible second to pack in as many ads as possible. Also, his clickbait is absolutely through the roof. He is now releasing these vlogs like they are, you know, these huge life-changing events. He really released a video that was super hyped and this huge thing was happening, and it was literally Ryland and him redecorating a roof. And another scary vlog was they went to a field in the middle of the night. I've not edited these thumbnails or titles, they are actually the real things. So what really made me decide to do this video, I've been thinking about it for a long time, was I recently saw a clip of Shane Dawson on Perez Hilton's podcast, and Perez Hilton is another person who got extremely wealthy from trashing women and people of color and saying horrible caused so much hurt and pain to other people, and they were literally sitting there laughing about how they took these breaks after their cancellations, and it was basically a vacation for them. Dawson and Hilton were both quote-unquote cancelled, went away, had a great time apparently, came back, gave a half-ass apology, and rebranded and alleged they're changed people, but none of that is true. They are the exact same people as they always were.
I can't handle something that don't like me because I can't control how they feel about me. And that's a really dark thing. And especially doing the documentary about things, you know, I'm trying to show the good in everyone, trying to get all these things that's hard to
I see him for being a mediator and trying to like help people and maybe.
But he wasn't helping people. He was helping himself. The Eugenia Cooney series. He made a series when Eugenia Cooney was still in recovery, saying she recovered. Who was that series helping? Shane Dawson. When he made it about Taddy Westbrook, James Charles, Jeffree Star. Who did that help? Him. Who did it ruin? Taddy Westbrook and James Charles.
Dawson sat on Hilton's podcast and spoke about his cancellation like it literally was a vacation. The way Dawson took time off, most people assumed he was using this time to work on himself and right his wrongs. Most people expected him to use his time wisely and make a return like that of Logan Paul. After the Forest incident, Logan Paul took a significant break from social media. He did some serious work on himself, and when he returned, he not only did the work, he was a champion for the mental health community, and he also put his money where his mouth was, making an enormous donation to mental health charities. Paul took time off that cost him a lot of money. He took accountability, raised other voices, and donated hugely. You couldn't really describe a better apology than Logan Paul's. He took the time off and used it wisely to return a better and more understanding person, and also helping the community he hurt. $1 million donation is pretty insane, and he absolutely could have donated 50, 100K, but he really wanted to do the right thing. Logan Paul has gone on to great success, especially with his podcast and his boxing career and the WWE.
Wow!
Saying he's this amazing person and does everything right, but I did really appreciate his apology. I'm not really someone who watches content, but I think that was an admirable thing. Of course, I'm no Logan Paul expert, but he seems to be an example of making a mistake by making bad content, uploading it, and then listening to people, apologizing, correcting the mistake, and going on from that point as a better person. So right here was where I was going to do a little conclusion and outro, but while I've been editing this video, there has been something that happened in the 2014 universe, and that was this platforming of Destiny Smith. So, as I said earlier in the video, Destiny Smith was someone who worked with Dawson, that he platformed, he basically had his career because of Dawson. And there has been an absolute avalanche of accusations. Like, I've never seen so many accusations.
So this basically, yeah, that's 3 weeks